All right, let's talk about the Detroit Lions, who had a tough day. Now, listen, Lions still do have a chance to make the playoffs. It is not like they are out of it by any means, but this was obviously a tough loss as they went from basically, feeling very good about their chances of getting in if they won this game to now having some work to do, being back under 500, really have to beat the Bears and the Packers, it feels like, to get in. I still think there's a very good chance they get in, but let's talk about just the game itself. What went wrong in this game? Why did they end up losing? And a big part of it was obviously they got really crushed in the run game in this one. And a lot of it was, I thought, good running by the Panthers, who I know maybe don't have the reputation of being a great football team, but I think that they're still pretty good. And this was kind of a way that they were able to get the ball down the field and to find ways to just, frustrate the Lions. Where the way this play concept works is you see how it's going to be a run to the offense's left, and you see how they're blocking kind of in that way. But you might notice one player who I have left, who I've circled, who they have left unblocked. What are they going to do about that guy, right? Well, you got to fool him. That's a great way you can get that player out of position, as everyone else other than the safety is accounted for. All you have to do is find a way to get the edge rusher out of position, and that's what they're going to do, and they're going to do it in a very simple way. Watch Darnold kind of fake as though it's going to be a run to the right, but then at the last second, he gets it towards the left. It doesn't bring the edge rusher overly in, but just enough to where you've now lost containment, and this is where the Panthers can really shine. As you see, they're able to pick up a big chunk play right there, and it's just little mistakes like that are, again, is it a mistake? Is that the right word? I don't know. I think so. I think it was a bit too much of an overcommitment. That was also by Aiden Hutchinson, by the way, who's played well. I would say the one critique I would have of his game so far this year has been those kind of overcommitments, and the Panthers at times took advantage of him, against him, as they did with a lot of different Lions players who just, in run defense, you gotta just stay, understand your gap and stay in your gap. And Hutchinson thought he was doing that, just overcommitted a bit too much. So little stuff like that definitely hurt. Also, something like this, which was, this was a bold choice. I take that back. This was a stupid choice. I don't think this is smart. I get it. You need something to happen. You're down 24-7 right here, but there's so much time left. 25 minutes left in the game. You got to just play your zone defense, guard the first down marker. Don't let them throw there. They're probably not going to. I wouldn't be shocked if you just went up in that defense. They just ran the ball or something. And granted, you're in no man's land here for the Panthers, so perhaps if you give up 7 yards, then they go for the fourth down. I don't know. But still, I don't think this is the right strategy. Let's just phrase it this way. It's not what I would have done, of just cover zero. No safety deep, and what you're now relying on is you're relying on Jeff Okudah to cover DJ Moore one-on-one. I like what Okudah's done this season. I think some people are overrating Okudah a little bit, acting like he's like an elite corner now. I don't think that's been the case at all. I think he still has his issues as a corner, and really his biggest issue is this situation, is trying to be left one-on-one without safety help. Safety help, he's a good corner, but he's just not the kind of guy who's going to cover DJ Moore one-on-one consistently. Look, when Darnold takes a snap, he knows where he's throwing the football, and he has to get rid of it quickly due to the cover zero blitz, and Moore is just open. And listen, this isn't an anti-Okudah take. Okudah's been good this season. Okudah's had a solid season for the Lions, been a nice surprise for them, but at the same time, it's just like DJ Moore's good, and DJ Moore can, again, DJ Moore might not be a superstar either, but he's still a very good receiver, and he can definitely win in one-on-one matchups against really good corners. So against a corner who I would just qualify as good, I guess I would say. This is just it's a mismatch, and it's one that I don't think that the Lions should have done. I think they could have still had a safety deep. If you want to blitz, at least put a safety deep. As you see, Moore ends up making the grab, getting close to a touchdown. They would end up getting the touchdown on that drive, whereas on a 3rd and 13, they could have easily stopped them and maybe still had a chance. I don't know what happens. This game was not going well. Probably it's still an issue, but it's just a great play, kind of sometimes you gotta put your players in position to succeed. I think on that play they didn't do it. Now for the other side, what happened to the Lions offense? Because at the end of the day, listen, the Lions defense is going to give up plays. So even the diehard of Lions fans will sit here and say, yeah, we got some issues on defense, but our offense has been very good. And they're correct. That's exactly how I would phrase it, is they have issues on defense, but their offense has been very good. So, giving up some points is accepted. That's okay. That's acceptable. But not scoring many is not, and that's what happened in this game. So what went wrong? Well, again, I have to question the coaching here in this one. And I don't want to completely put it on coaching because it's on the talent as well, but this is just kind of a confusing call for me. It's a 3rd down and 9 right here, and it's zone coverage is what they're doing. So you're going to throw, have 2 receivers run deeper routes, and then have another receiver kind of run underneath. This is oftentimes what you'll see teams do on like a 2nd down and 9 type situation. You're getting the ball in Amon-Ra St. Brown's hands. He's the guy who would be running the route that the ball is going to go to. So, hey, anytime you can get the ball in that guy's hands, you do it, right? Right when this play begins, you see that it's working as intended. Amon-Ra St. Brown is getting open here. Goff is going to make this throw. Really well-executed play by everyone involved. St. Brown nearly got a 1st down on a play that probably wasn't going to go for a 1st down. But okay, maybe they felt like it could go for a 1st down. Maybe he didn't run the full route. I don't know exactly what happened. Seemed like it was a good play, though, by everyone involved. But on 3rd down and 1 here, again, given the situation, down 14 points, I would like to see them go for it here. I would have. And I know that people are going to say, you're only on your own 34-yard line here. I don't know. I think in this situation, the analytics say you should go for it. I know Dan Campbell knows analytics. I know he's paid attention to that stuff. I think that, listen, some coaches would never go for it in this situation. I wouldn't even be bringing it up. I know Dan Campbell is the kind of guy who would be willing to go for it on these types of situations. I think he should have here. That's just my opinion. Also, some other stuff, like just there was some quick pressure in this one that really usually isn't an issue for the Lions, but it was like right here. You see Brian Burns, one-on-one matchup. Tough guy to block. And look, as you see, I mean, the blocking is it's not going to go very well, as not really much Jared Goff can do on a situation like that. When there's immediate pressure like that, it's just tough. It's going to be difficult for you to be able to do much, and that's kind of what happened right there. Again, Brian Burns, very difficult guy to block. I think that, no one's going to argue with that. That is Taylor Decker, who is, really good tackle for them. Usually doesn't get beat badly. So, okay, sometimes it almost works to, your detriment if you have good tackles every now and then, because you just don't expect pressure to come from either side of you if you're Jared Goff. And so it almost, when there is pressure, it makes it even more difficult to get around it than it typically is. I don't know. So there is something to that. Although, obviously, you don't expect that to happen too often, even against good pressure. But, again, Brian Burns had a great day. Although I'd also say, part of what made it good was stuff like this, where this is just, it's a mistake by, again, the Lions coaching staff. I thought this was not the best coach day for them, and I tend to be I would say a fan of the coaching staff, not like a massive fan. I don't think it's the best in the league or anything, but I think it's solid. What they're going to do here is have guard Evan Brown pull over to, it's a play action, and they're going to have the guard Evan Brown pull over to block Brian Burns, and it's just like, unless you're planning on getting rid of the football very quickly, which they're not here, I just don't know if I love this. I might would rather have a tackle just block Brian Burns and not be able to sell the play action as well as you want to. I think I'm okay with that when it's Brian Burns, or run the play action to the other side of the field then. Because watch how, you see Burns just, completely blows by, and again, blows up a play, gets a sack, and a couple of those can kill it. One of those can kill a drive. So you kill a couple of drives with that stuff. That's a big issue, and that's part of why the Lions struggled in this game, and it's part of why they ultimately lost in this game. So, do I think that the Lions can overcome this? Of course I do. They absolutely can. They play the Bears next week, which, if they lose that, I'd say pack it in. It's over. I don't think you're making the playoffs with 9 losses at this point. But assuming they win that game, probably all they would have to do would be to beat the Packers week 18 to get in, which is a situation you didn't want to find yourself in if you're the Lions. You wanted to just win and not have to worry about this. Now you have to worry about it, and it's a frustrating loss, but still, I don't know who's going to win that Week 18 game. I think it's going to come down to that, though. And, hey, it's been a good season, all things considered. But it would be a disappointing end if they end up missing the playoffs. But we'll see what happens. That's what I think about all this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.